We got Boy Green, we got James Wudi, and we're talking training camp. That part ain't nothing new. But this time, we actually had eyes of our own on the field. 4 eyes. All right. All 4 of them belong to Boy Green. Yep. Don't worry. Up there. 4 eyes. But they were on the field. They were seeing things. They were making observations. So let's go through the observations. Let's go through the press conference. Come on now, Jets, Giants practice. Come on now. It's a joint practice. It's a joint show. We are live. Boy Green meets Wudi.
Can you guys help us get a jet chant here? Yeah, going.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. Come on in.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go!
J-E-T-S, Jets! Let's go! J-E-T-S, Jets! Let's go! There you go, Woody!
Third Party Thursday.
Chris joining us here on the program with a capital P here on the program.
Jake Asman, come on down. How you doing, good sir?
Wow, what an intro. I mean, Boy Green is known for having the intro, but Woody, that was unreal, man. Thanks for the kind words, son.
We are men of many names.
My favorite Austrian Jets fan right there, baby.
Boy Green
Meets Wudi. Welcome to another episode of Boy Green Meets Wudi. It is your boy, James Wudi, and you already know we are Wudi, rocking everywhere. But over here, you see the new dig. This isn't where he's always at. All right, we are talking about the boy who became king. He actually came straight from practice, from training camp, joint practice, Jets, Giants, none other than Paul Evan Jr. Tell us how you doing, my good sir.
Well, Woody, thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. I appreciate that. I'm not in New York for people that ask, and I'm still in New Jersey. We're staying another night, and God bless. Gesundheit. I am still in New Jersey. We're staying another night, so to get the full experience, not to rush back. But this was a last-second decision late last night, and Woody, you gave my queen all the props, and that is 100% the truth. Around 8 or 9 o'clock last night, I'm sitting in Oswego, New York, just doing my normal same business, and Lou B, Super Jets fan who won the raffle prize last month, is a very generous man, and I've worked with him a few times to help him give away training camp tickets. When they come upon him, he's done a really cool job of giving them back to the fans. So last night, he is giving away tickets to today's practice to fans. And I reshared it. And I said, Lou, this is awesome. I hope they go to a great bunch of Jet fans that are going. Man, I wish I could go. And he's like, why don't you? I'm like, I don't know, man. It's 8 or 9 o'clock. It's a 4 or 5 hour drive. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure. And then my fiance overhears all this hoopla coming out of my mouth hole. And she goes, why don't we just do it right now? Let's just freaking go. Live life. And so she packed, God bless my fiance. She packed up the kids, packed up everybody in a mad scramble. We hopped in the car for where we are in Oswego, New York. It takes about 5 hours to head out there. So we arrived around here in New Jersey about 2 a.m. Eventually got everyone to bed. And then before you know it, we're going to Jets training camp today. So it was a surreal experience. Again, I can't give it. I'm giving shout outs on Instagram, social media, everywhere, because obviously without Lou B, this wouldn't have happened. So super cool. And I got the VIP treatment. I mean, oh my, which we're going to get into. I mean, it was spectacular. There's no question about it. And there's just 2 shout outs right off the top. First off, I apologize. There's no Boy Green Day this morning. I thought I was going to be able to make it happen, but with the timing of practice, everything, unfortunately, I was unable to. So I apologize. So hopefully we can make it up today, Woody, with an awesome show for Boy Green Meets Woody. And I want to give a shout out to the fans. There were so many fans that gave me at Jets training camp today, Boy Green. And I was like, oh, hey, whoever you are. And I took a few pictures of some people. That was cool, man. It's humbling. I'm like, me? Are you sure? Do you mean the guy behind me? Do you mean the gal behind me? And so it's humbling all the time to be able to hang out with a bunch of Jet fans. A bunch of people recognize me. That's crazy to think about. I'm just some guy, just some boob talking New York Jets. But I'm glad that it registers and resonates with a lot of people. So there's a lot of observations, Woody. And not only is this just any practice, which would be cool to go to any practice and share observations, but the first joint practice, the first of only 2 joint practices the Jets are doing the entire preseason. They're not doing it with the Eagles. They're not doing it with whoever the hell we played, the Packers. We didn't, Green Bay, thankfully, after the last joint practice. I don't think I want to do those with Green Bay ever again. R.I.P. Carl Lawson, pour one out wherever he may be at this moment. Awesome experience, Woody. There's a lot of observation to get to, but for it to be Jets Giants and for there to be that juice that sometimes is there for these, it was pretty cool, man. I can't lie.
Absolutely, definitely. Getting you out there, seeing the team, seeing the personnel and stuff. And a lot of times we're doing this, we're relying on somebody else's observations. So hearing what you saw firsthand, definitely looking forward to it. In terms of the joint practice, this is a big one. The Giants, in my opinion, have one of the best, if not the best. If someone, you gun to my head right now, best defensive line in football, I'm picking the Giants. And we're talking about an offensive line who, we have big expectations for, but they're young, right? So this is a big test for them. And then, of course, Justin Fields, right? That's obviously the main guy. Everybody wants to know how he did. And I can already say from that standpoint, we've all heard good things.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. In terms of the Giants being the best, if they're not the best, then speak out in the comment section who is, because I'm going to be honest, I was sort of taking a step back. I knew who the players were, but you see Abdul Carter line up, Dexter Lawrence line up, Brian Burns line up, and Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau was the other one. I was like, good night. When they were just, because there's some hoopla that happens between these drills and them setting them up for whether it's 7-on-7, 11-on-11, or whatever. But all 4 Giants just sort of had their hands to their hips. It was just KT, Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, and Dexter Lawrence all just lined up next to him. I'm like, holy shit. That unit is pretty good. And I agree with AG. AG spoke after practice. I caught up on that before we're doing the show. And AG said, we sort of traded some blows. They had wins, we had wins. And that's sort of what I saw out there. There was a few times where Justin Fields, there was some immediate presence in the backfield. Now, I don't think that's a clear red flag. This offensive line isn't anywhere near as good as we thought it was. Let's go back to point number 1. The Giants' defense line is ferocious. And it's great because the Jets are getting tested. That's what this joint practice is supposed to be all about. Also, the Jets did not do any full tackles. Apparently, AG, from what I heard, wanted to do it, where Brian Dable did not. So they came together and said no on the full-on tackling. So we got that experience where, Woody, we didn't get the intense Jets-Giants joint practice of yesteryear. And I'm sure a bunch of the beat reporters probably wrote about some of the ones we've seen in the past where it gets chippy and intense. But because they weren't doing the full-on tackling to the ground, I don't think we had that level of intensity. Now, it started to get chippy when we got red zone period and, touchdowns are being scored. That's when there was some shit talking going on where Jets players get in Giants players' face and the crowd's going, ooh, we better get some here. But for the most part, it was pretty contained. So there wasn't any fights, relatively speaking, skirmishes maybe. But I would say just from that first line of defense, great challenge for this Jets offensive line. I love seeing the one-on-ones where it was Olu Fashanu, and he rotated against them all. He played against Kayvon Thibodeau. He played against Brian Burns. He obviously didn't play against Dexter. Dexter wasn't lining up out there. But Abdul Carter, he got shots at all of them. And I will be honest, there were some where I'm like, ooh, Olu Fashanu just gave a little stonewall. But then a few others where, because they don't actually sack the quarterback in practice, Woody. So, there's a kind of they throw up the hand like, I got his ass. And we can agree or disagree whether or not they would have on a few plays. But it was intense. I love the back and forth. And I think that was really, especially when we find out this morning, Malik Neighbors taps the helmet, not practicing today. We got robbed of Malik Neighbors versus Sauce Gardner. He was scared of Sauce, obviously. So I think the next best matchup after that was O-line, D-line, Jets, Giants.
Wow. Yeah, that's quite the battle. And that's the when we say iron sharpens iron, right? That's what we talk about. D-line, right? Their D-line is elite. Our O-line, we want it to be elite. And that those are the type of matchups that they're going to have to, win. And I'm happy to hear that, they won some, and of course they lost some. I know they're not going to win every rep, you know. That's just the fact of the matter. So hearing that it was a little bit back and forth, pretty good to hear. Staying in that same vein, I see a comment that hurts my soul, but it is what it is because we saw it during the actual preseason game. My guy Brees, was he? And just to quote my guy J Boy specifically, was he hitting the hole, or is he still running into his offensive line?
So, Woody, I'm assuming by the tone of your voice, you saw the viral clip of a certain analyst saying Brees Hall's vision sucks balls. I don't know if that's a direct quote, but he went like, look at Brees doing this way and look at this big ass lane he avoided. So that was going viral. I don't know if Brees responded to that on social media, but I'm sure that he saw it. I would say this: Brees had a few struggles in the run game, if I'm being honest. I think where he really thrived to me is in the receiving game. And I loved this setup they did. So it's an empty set. That means there's no running backs or anything in the backfield, Justin Fields. So it's shotgun, and you have 5 wide. And one of the players that is wide is Brees Hall. And then you have essentially 4 players running verts. So they're going down the field, drawing away coverage. And Brees hit him with a little shake and bake action, slant underneath. Justin hits him in stride, and it was a massive gain for a play. And I'm like, God, I love that. And I saw it a few years ago when I went to Jets training camp. They were in that sort of play action, just get the ball in his hands and off to the races, let's go. So he showed some chutzpah, certainly as a receiver. As a runner, I'm going to be honest, I thought the Giants did a really good job in run defense. So they were really getting after it from that standpoint of immediate pocket penetration. Probably the running back so Donovan Edwards got eaten up several times. Kene Nguanu got eaten up. Brees Hall got eaten up. The one that actually was sort of, and again, I don't want to overgeneralize. There was a few plays where Brees made some noise in the running game, but more often than not, he got stuffed, and then they started going to the receiving work, and that's where he was doing damage. Braylon Allen on a few, just like a locomotive a few times where he made this one move that had this giant guy sort of stutter, and then he just hit the hole and planted his foot in the ground and went north-south. Again, it's not full-on tackling, so whether or not a player that throws his hand up like I would have tackled his ass even though I didn't, and then Braylon like, nah, you wouldn't have. So like there's a little bit of back and forth on that. So I would say Braylon was the one that stood out the most to me as a pure runner. As a receiver, Brees Hall to me was number 1 today at Jets Giants joint practice among all the running backs. Donovan Edwards had a couple of plays, but to me, I think Brees was exceptional as a receiver out of the backfield. And just as a straight up wide receiver, they utilized him in that way. Braylon, it was more straight up running.
Wow. Well, I mean, I don't think anybody's surprised to hear that. The Braylon hype has been loud. I mean, if you look at the footage from the actual game that we all watched, it's hard to argue. He's been the more explosive runner so far. There were times last year in the same game he was looking more explosive. I don't know what happened to my guy Brees. I mean, show me his rookie year highlights and tell me that he wasn't going to be, explosive in 4 years. That doesn't, it's still not making sense to me. And I understand, the ACL tear. Mm-hmm. His first 2 runs after his ACL tear were damn near 100 yards.
Yeah, it was 20. It was over 100 yards. It was 26 yards and 83 yards. Why I specifically remember those 2 numbers of the Bills game, I have no idea, but I do. Yeah, his first one was a 26-yard. He got off to the left side, and we went, oh, like, look at that. And then the 83-yard went, boop, boop, and we're like, oh, shit, touchdown. Garrett, come on now. If you just hit that little block.
He was hyped.
Of course, how could you not be? Yeah, that would have been a touchdown, but that's okay. We ended up winning the game anyway. But, yeah, I would say this. Here's what I do want to say, okay? So everyone's, getting their roundhouse kicks in on Brees Hall. In the preseason game, he had 3 carries for 9 yards. I don't know whether good or bad. Now, if he just looks great, then we all like goo goo gaga. So I guess it's really only the bad that we perceive. is there enough of a sample size there to really judge? No, there's not. And that's what I want to say, is that regardless of how we feel about Brees, and we've all done, me and you would have done predictions together of what we think is going to happen for the season and stuff like that for Braylon or Brees or anything. I'm not ready to go anything crazy here. There was a lot of, I don't want to say whispers, like people in the stands as Brees had a struggle or two, like, oh, should we trade him? Hey, do you think we could get Micah Parsons? And the people are just talking around me. I'm like, guys, we're in the middle of a practice here. Maybe save this sort of speculation for Boy Green Meets Woody at 3 o'clock. But yeah, I don't want to judge him too harshly. And again, I've been back and forth about Brees, where the rookie season, I'm like, oh my God, second coming, offense rookie year. And then some of the struggles going like, man, the flashes are there, but can he ever be the guy consistently? And he just shuts us all off and says, here it is, baby. I don't know, to be candid. But I think if we're judging off this preseason game where a lot of people seem to be coming off that highlight analyst clip that went viral on social media, I don't know. I think we should give him his due grace.
Yeah, I mean, my guy, Take Flight today, Brent does fantastic work on IG. He pretty much said what I want to say is that people, it's easy to run away with preseason. We've been starving, right? Starving for football, and now we see football, and now we're ready to put Donovan Edwards in the Pro Bowl. But I mean, and I don't want to say it's just preseason, but hopefully this stat can outline what I'm trying to say, is that Robert Saleh in the preseason had a win percentage of 76%.
Wow. Good stat.
Of his 4 seasons as the head coach of the Jets, he literally only lost a preseason game in one of those seasons. So 3-0. So it was very easy during those games to say, oh, the Jets are going to be like this. Chris Streveler is that, and our preseason heroes. And then none of you guys remember that, but you guys remember how the seasons went and what his winning percentage is during the regular season. So just keep that in mind while, yes, we hyped, the team executed, all that type of stuff. People did well. That is not a reason. And I've heard this a lot, is like, oh, we got Donovan. Yeah, trade Brees right now. And, Donovan can be, he can battle with Davis for RB2. So I do think people, and I tried to say before, I'm not going to, overreact to anything I see. But unfortunately, I could only speak for myself. There's a lot of overreactions going on in the Jets community based on that one game.
Yeah, I would also say this on Donovan. Again, I don't want to crush anyone for any individual play. He had a 7-on-7 play today where the ball went right to him, and I'm like, the crowd is just bubbling. They want good things to happen. So when it's on the verge of it, like, oh, and then or oh. So Donovan Edwards, 7-on-7, he catches his ball, and a giant immediately punches the ball out, fumble, and the guy takes it back for a touchdown. 7-on-7, and they're not obviously operating with the full field. And then Donovan came up a little gimpy, and then he ended up returning to practice. So, but I would also say this: if I ever do a stupid play, like I get toasted or something, or I fumble, I'm reaching for the hammy, even if it doesn't hurt. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's the only reason, obviously, that just happened is the hammy. Yeah, so I respect that from Donovan. That a fumble. Is it my knee, my back, my arm? Okay, something happened there. Sorry, folks. Yep. I'll do better on the next one. So I'm not sure if that's what happened there with Donovan, but if it is, I respect it. So he had a play today where he fumbled in 7-on-7, and he barely got touched. It was a quick pop, and then boop, Paul popped out. Ball popped out. It wasn't even like a Charles Peanut Tillman punch. It was very light, and he fumbled immediately. So we just all have to take it all in stride.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, right, we're going to see good things. We're going to say bad things. It's I think we're just so starved that, we see one or two things, and now we're applying it to, 17 games or 18 weeks of football. And that's almost never the case. Like, even I saw someone say, what I see, if the, RB1 can't run up nose, that's a problem. It's not, he did it on that play. But are we gonna sit here and say, oh, like he cannot? So there's a lot of that. But I know, we're just looking for content. So let's talk about content. Actually, let's flip it upside down because we talked about D line, right? A lot of hype for the Giants D line, elite unit against our young O line. Yeah. What about the flip of the coin? How are our guys on our D line doing with their offensive line is a little banged up? Should be a little bit better on paper, but Andrew Thomas got a hangnail or something like that, and they got some guys coming back. Dangerous, unlimited, right? He had unlimited snaps as QB1. How do we do against them?
Yeah, so I want to pair this together with what Incel Alon just asked. Any updates on the defense? Look, today I've only seen offensive updates. So for the most part, for our side, so if you've never been to Jets training camp before, there are grandstands that you can sit in, and there's ones all over the field. They got multiple football fields, so you make business decisions when you come in where you're going to sit as to what you're going to be subject to. They don't say, hey, it looks like there's some fans over there, let's throw something over there for the fans. It's they're go wherever they're going, and wherever you sit is where you sit. So initially a lot of the defense was the Giants offense was on a separate field that no one had immediate access to. So the stories that will ultimately be told by that will mostly be from Jets team reporters and Giant team reporters because they were over there in an area fans couldn't access. However, the ones that we got, Wudi, were red zone drills where it was Russell Wilson and the Giants offense versus the Jets defense. And the Giants offense was getting a little happy with their passing game. They got several touchdowns against the Jets defense of getting in on these red zone drills. And the Jets players started to get pissed. And that's where we started getting chippiness of the Giants, like giving them the business. And when the Giants scored a couple of touchdowns, they were throwing the ball up in the air. And I'm like going, wow. And like, I don't want to say Super Bowl level celebrations, but they were like really giving it to the Jets, and they just scored touchdowns on them, which pissed the Jets off. Michael Clemens had a offsides, so sorry to report that, folks. Which I'll tell you this, and the Giants did this too. So almost on like back-to-back plays, the Giants it was a backup left tackle, or I guess whoever's filling in for Andrew Thomas, he false starts, and then the Giants back up, and Dable's like, off the field. He's like, somebody. It's like I'm trying to think of the movies, and it's from Christmas Vacation, where Bill Murray's brother is there, and he doesn't want to have a conversation with Clark Griswold, so he picks up the phone. Something, get me something. Anyone on the phone. Like, I would rather be doing something else than having to answer this. And he said, anybody. And like when Brian Dable, like there was a false start, he just sort of snapped his fingers looking back. Like, I want any other offensive lineman. Get in there. I'm not dealing with this. False start, you're out. And AG sort of did the same thing with Michael Clemens. As soon as the penalty happened, we went, hey, whoa, got to do a quick replace job. So I'll be honest, in the red zone period, which again, we were not subject to the full on, for us, the thing we got the most was Jets offense against Giants defense almost all day. We got like an hour of coverage of that, but it wasn't just ones on ones. It was ones on ones, twos on twos, threes on threes, fours on fours. So we got like a full experience of the offense. So, as more questions come in, I'll just let you guys know that when a lot of offensive stuff, I got a lot of offensive notes I can share, but I would say defensively for the red zone, the thing that we saw a couple of times is some of the secondary getting work. Now, it wasn't Sauce. One time Brandon Stevens got it was a double team, which is sort of surprising that Russell Wilson still found a way to get it in. Tony Adams and Brandon Stevens were double covering receivers, and he still found him. And he kept like finding receivers. Like the pass rush wasn't getting home quick enough. Now, in fairness, I don't think Quinnen was out there. I don't know what his update is for when he's supposed to get on the field. AG was sort of AG about it, saying, we got a plan for them, and they'll be back when we want them to be back. Oh, okay, coach. So I don't believe Quinnen was out there, but Will McDonald was out there. Jermaine obviously wasn't out there either. He just got activated off PUP, so that's going to be a plan too. So the Jets didn't have their full complement, so full context there. But they sort of got their lunchbox handed to them in the red zone periods. Will was in and out of the lineup, so I don't know what their rotations were. Again, maybe they were trying to get other backups in the game. So we didn't get to see a lot of Will McDonald against some of those, because that's what I would love to see, is some of those pass rushers get opportunities from that standpoint. But yeah, if I'm just being straight up, it looked like the Giants offense won a bunch of that activity in the red zone there, Woodster.
Damn. No Andrew Thomas, no Malik Neighbors, no problem for Mr. Unlimited. Just throwing unlimited touchdowns on our defense.
Yeah.
And that's crazy because my guy LT3, who was phenomenal, had that strip sack in the end zone against the Packers. Jay Tufele, who, Boy Green, we were talking during that game, and then, he was out here making some plays. I was hoping to see, one of them step up. And maybe they did, like you said, we're limited to just the red zone. But that is, worth noting. Damn, that we got cooked up there. So that's not great.
It happened. So I just want to be straight up. I don't want to say, well, the Jets beat them on every single rep that ever possibly happened. The Jets look like booty cheeks. If I said that, that would have been more fun for us, but would not have been true. So there was certainly some back and forth there, but more forth than back, if I may, from the Giants offense versus the Jets defense. But again, there was exclusively red zone periods. The other side of the field, it was difficult to tell who was with who. I saw a couple of Jackson Dart plays, so he got eaten up a couple of times. So the Jets pass rush got after Jackson Dart a few times, so that's exciting news for sure. And let me get this player, Wudi, because I saw the jersey number and I'm not familiar with the player yet. So this was a good situation that happened. So I got the Jets roster here, so I will get this player quickly. So, it ended up being my Syracuse guy. So Kingsley Jonathan, he's number 57 on your scorecard. And that just reminds me it's not CJ Mosley. But so they were doing 11 on 11 in the red zone, and he came across. It must have been. It was. I have it written in my notes. So he came around the bend and got Jackson Dart. Again, you don't really sack them. You just throw your hand up, so to speak. So he threw his hand up, and the play keeps going, so that they don't just end the drill. So Jackson Dart keeps going. Kingsley Jonathan takes his helmet off. He's like, "Look at me, baby! Like I just sacked Jackson Dart's ass, baby!" And AG ran out there. So he's already sort of on the side field because, again, it's like you're not getting full field. And he came over to him, and it was like basically, because I can't hear the play-by-play what he said, but it looked like he said, get that helmet back on, because that's a penalty. If you do that on the field and rip your helmet off, it doesn't matter the settle, that's a penalty. So because Kingsley Johnson was fired up, you got this play, yeah, say my name. And AJ was like, hey, penalty boy, get your ass back. And so he sort of was cool that he made the play, give him a high five, and then was like, and get your ass back over there. So again, that's consistent from AG, is that he's been cracking the whip on these penalties. Again, we'll see if that actually matters once we get to the field, but he's been cracking the whip and making sure these P's and Q's are obviously there for the players. But yeah, I had to look up the player because the number stood out to me. I'm like, ooh, let me put that in my notes, because I took a bunch of notes for the Jets Giants joint practice and tweets. So we could go through some of my tweets too. I tried to keep up with both so we could recap anything and everything that people wanted. I see we have some super chats. We'll get to those too, I promise. But yeah, Kingsley Jonathan got after Jackson Dart, took his helmet off, was pounding his chest, and AG was like, get to the sideline. So he cracked that whip pretty quickly there, Woodster.
Hey, I mean, he's a coach. He's a coach. And, that's the number one thing. I told you that was the number one thing I was looking at in this past game. And there were a lot of them. He addressed it, right away in the press conference, and, said that he's going to handle it. So that's good. That's good to, see him, kind of addressing that. And let's see the next, like you just said, let's see when it can actually transfer in an actual game that this team is disciplined. But I know we got some super chats, and I got our guy Indy is asking a question. So after we address the super chats, I will happily answer that question.
Okay, beautiful. So number one Austrian Jet fan, he's sending it in. Every time we get a super chat, we hear from my daughter, Zariah Luna. Wow. Now, if she didn't just get to the pool, I would have asked her to do it live. Hey, honey, come on over here. Come to the mic. But they went to the pool, so shout out to the fam. We're going to do some non-football stuff after I finish all my work. Thank you again to my queen of a fiance for throwing all this together. She's the real MVP. She set all this up. Without her, this wouldn't have been possible, so shout out to my fiance. Mason Taylor, wide receiver 2. My biggest observation, Woody, from being at this Jets-Giants joint practice is all Mason Taylor related. And let's go through each piece. Mason Taylor reportedly suffered a high ankle sprain. The talk was that he'd be out at least this week. So AG was sort of going week by week. He wasn't saying, they're out for 7 months. He just said as a generic, hey, he's out for this week. And then we didn't hear anything. And then Rich Cimini, in a recent piece, said he was out indefinitely. That's the words Rich Cimini used. And I'm like, oh boy. Not that surprised me. You hear high ankle sprain that's normally a couple weeks. So I'm like, oh boy, we're getting to the season. How this tight end room looks booty cheeks without Mason Taylor. What the hell is this going to mean? Mason Taylor participated in 7-on-7s. He participated in 11-on-11s. And Wudi, the cool thing of being at Jets camp and being at practice is you get to make observations that I couldn't normally just based on other things. Mason Taylor didn't have anything extra on his ankle, Wudi. He wasn't wearing an ankle brace. He wasn't wearing extra ankle tape. He had nothing. Zip and pip out there. And I put him on like, whoa. First off, that he's out there at all. I thought he died based on the injury reports I was seeing. So like that he's alive. Okay, there's an update. And that he was in 7-on-7s, he was in 11-on-11s, no additional anything. He had no medical attention. When he was on the side, he wasn't getting extra work with anybody. Mason Taylor looks fully healthy. And I don't know how that's humanly possible. How do you get a high ankle sprain and come back in within a week? Especially with joint practices, that normally is a higher level of intensity. Normally, you want to be more careful with your guys. Now, AG sort of mentioned that, like, hey, we sort of got to protect him from himself. And I got to meet up with Mason Taylor after practice, which was super cool, the VIP experience. Mason Taylor was super cool. But I would tell you, and we'll play the highlight clip here from practice, Wudi, because this is the play. And I'm glad that the Jets had a good angle of it because Jared B., who's our moderator in the chat, a lot of the things I was tweeting, he said, picks or it didn't happen. I also want to make this clear for the rules, people. Hey, Mark Green, where was all the videos of the practice? I didn't see Bumpkins. You did not, because that is against the Jets rules. You're not allowed to videotape or live stream. That is specific about anything regarding the practice. So I did a couple of myself, like doing some videos and more content to come out on the channel, but we are not allowed to videotape anything on the field. I saw some Jet fans said, hey, fuck your rules, Jets. I'm videotaping it. And God bless for any of those who are out there. And a lot of people were filming a few of the plays. Being in my content creator space, I don't want to cause any risk with the New York Jets, so I'm not breaking any of your rules. You don't want videos, fine. But I'm glad that the Jets had the video footage provided here, Wudi, because this play I'm about to show you sent the Jet fans into an absolute tizzy of Mason Taylor. This was sweet. This pass was from Adrian Martinez, Wudi, and oh my good golly. Again, if you think all my words, oh, Mason Taylor looks pretty healthy. Mason Taylor looks pretty healthy. Don't take my word for it, people. You don't have to. Take the video footage here from the New York Jets. This is Adrian Martinez to Mason Taylor. And just watch this on the replay. Run that back. And to be honest, Woodster, like it doesn't even do it service of that play because it's hard to see like the depth of that because it's sort of a single shot. It was probably a 25-yard throw. Martinez laid it in a bucket, and like from where we were at, Mason was right in front of us, and I'm like, can he get that in there? And Mason hit him with a ooh, and got both feet in, and the fans are doing JETS chants. Mason Taylor was getting all fired up. I think he looks fully healthy, Wudi. That's great news for the Jets. He has a chance to be second or third on the team in targets this year. Thank God. I was super concerned before practice and not knowing anything. High ankle sprain, that's bad news. And then to see him in person, see no additional anything action happening. He had a few splash plays, was consistent, didn't drop any balls. Mason Taylor, Jet fans, buckle up. And he's a good young man, too. Like I said, I got to meet him after practice, and a very good man. Great thrown ball, as Fox Sports Talk is saying, and others. Mason Taylor has a chance to be really special, man. Really special.
Real quick aside
is
the boy who threw that ball, my guy, Adrian Martinez. He had some great balls on against the Packers, and now with Tyrod out, right? You got that.
Yeah, let's address that real quick, Wudi.
Yeah, well, I'm about to actually. You have to say something.
Yeah.
But he got the knee surgery, right? He's missing preseason. They hope to have him back week 1. Don't know if that's going to be the case. So now there is like a mini opening QB2. And Adrian Martinez, I feel like I've been beating the drum, just singing his praises from last year. And this year, what I saw against the Packers is more of the same. Accurate balls, can throw on the run, and just so mobile, right? And I'm not even talking about, running like Michael Vick. I'm talking about, evading pressure. There's just so many elements to his game where I think, hey, if they can simplify that playbook and he needs to play in a pinch in real NFL action, I feel like he can do it. So that guy, he has my vote of confidence. But I guess because it seemed like you wanted to say something about Tyrod, so I can let you do that before I go back to the other Taylor, Mason Taylor.
Yes. So real quick on Tyrod, you said it again. AG said this after practice. So at first, Tyrod, hey, he's going to miss a little time here. Basically he's old. That's his knee problem. Maintenance, as Wudi said the last week. Maintenance is sort of what they were doing. Now we heard after practice from AG that he had I wrote it down here, minor scope, which was the knee surgery. So minor scope. And he's hopefully, to your point, Woody, you said this already, but hopefully going to be ready for week 1, but totally out for the preseason, it looks like. Again, with his age, I probably didn't expect him to play much in the preseason anyway. So that's its own thing. So put that aside, Tyrod, and then insert your jokes about health already with Tyrod Taylor there. Here's the one from practice. I don't know if other people were talking about this outside. We were just talking about it there. Brady Cook got hurt during practice, and AG said he got his foot stepped on, which, by the way, who in the fuck? Justin Fields gets his foot stepped on? Brady Cook getting his foot stepped on? Who is going around saying, hey, where's some quarterback feet? And just stomping around out there. I don't know what the hell's going on out there. But Brady Cook, I didn't see what happened initially. All I saw is Brady limping around, and he was sort of dragging his leg. He seemed frustrated, kept grabbing his face mask. I'm like, oh no. And the reason why there's an extra light shined on that, I saw people asking a question about the quarterback situation. And if I was worried about anything with Tyrod, I think that might have been Indy here who asked about it. Yeah, there it is, Indy. I want to throw that up on the screen. Do we need to worry about Tyrod Taylor? If Brady Cook is out for any period of time, AG said he got his foot stepped on and they're getting more information inside the building. We'll see. It didn't look good. He was limping around really bad. Maybe it's, again, another dislocated toe or something. I have no idea. I'm totally speculating. But it did not look good. Brady he needed help from several medical staffers immediately to get some extra work on whatever happened to him. So looked like his foot was stepped on. We'll see what happens. But if Brady Cook is compromised, Tyrod Taylor's clearly compromised. It might be the Adrian Martinez show for the rest of the way. And I imagine the Jets would add another quarterback at least to the room for training camp and or the rest of the preseason. The other thing we don't know, AG was not asked about this. Maybe he'll be asked tomorrow on the final joint practice. Typically, when teams joint practice against one another, their starters typically don't play in the game later in the week. Is that AG's same philosophy? If so, then are the starters basically done for the rest of the preseason? So there's a few questions about that. We'll sort of see. So no, Brady Cook hurt too. That leaves Adrian Martinez, the UFL MVP, and Fields, basically the only two quarterbacks ready to roll at this moment. We know Tyrod's out for the preseason. We'll see what the update is on Brady Cook.
Yes, sir. Well, now back to M. Taylor. Sure. I just wanted to say that, that's obviously great news. People are saying, how sometimes those young bones, man, he's one of the younger players in the league, and just that youth, you can heal a little bit faster than, some of these old dogs. But Mason Taylor, that was another thing from the Packers game that I didn't, mention on my recap. That and
where can we find that recap, Woody?
My recap was on TikTok, actually. Take Flight Talk at Take Flight Talk. Yes. I talked about a lot of things, but I did not talk about Andrew Beck, who was a person who I wasn't expecting to really ever talk about. But during the preseason game, he was the guy who was that security blanket for Justin Fields. And all I kept thinking about was in a regular game, Mason Taylor would be in those shoes. And the way that they had it, Beck was just, he had so much space in front of him. He was catching the ball on the run, 10 yards of cushion. What is Mason Taylor going to do in those situations? Like, that is what I was thinking about. And then, of course, we know about, the contested catches, some of those deeper routes, right? Like what we just saw in that clip. So I'm super high on Mason Taylor. I think I've said it a bajillion times that he was my favorite pick that the Jets made this year. Now we're looking at the target share and who's getting what. We obviously all assume Garrett will be number one. A lot of people want to throw Brees in there as number two. That could be true, but for my money, I'm going Mason Taylor because I just, based on what I saw there, he's just consistently been that security blanket. Justin Fields was using that with Cole Kmet, for his first few years. And now we got a system that favors the tight end as well. So I think Mason Taylor, health provided, is in for a huge year with the New York Jets.
Salute to Mason Taylor. This is a Boy Green special photography shot. If you'd like to use that, please send your royalties at BoyGreen25 on PayPal and Venmo, baby. So appreciate that to myself. Just wanted to give a quick shout out there. We have another super chat, several super chats. Let me get to all of them here. Let's go to our boy Hennessy Heisman sending in a super chat. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Hennessy, you have yourself a raffle ticket. You're $1 away from another raffle ticket. Remember, for the entire month of August, and normally for our raffles, there are $3 a pop to get a raffle ticket for our contest. Every once in a while, we'll do a different raffle ticket, and that will be explained thereafter. So thank you. Quote here, I think people overreact because of all the bad reports we heard about Justin Fields in the offense. Also, we haven't seen an above-average offense in years. So that's Hennessy Heisman Super Chat. Thank you for sending in. I'll answer the back half first. It's funny that Jet fans are all like, pish posh, this Justin Fields offense. We're being elitist pigs, and we haven't seen dick offense in forever. So we're going to be the ones going, I'm not too sure about this one. And again, I'm not saying we all have to pretend like it's the greatest offense of all time. Let's see how things develop and evolve. But I think a few people on some of the things offensively, we've seen a little too critical of an eye. Like, go to the preseason game. That's as great of an opening drive as you could have possibly had. 10 plays, 79 yards. Justin Fields did anything and everything that he had to do to move him down the field. 75% completion percentage, 42 passing yards. He had the 14-yard rush that got the touchdown, so 2 rushes for 14 yards. I believe the touchdown run was 13 yards. And they went bing, boom, bam right down the field and got us a touchdown. So I will tell you, from Justin Fields, an uneven day from Justin Fields. He missed on a couple of throws that were sort of wild all over the place. Now, the thing that I always want to reiterate when I give any observation on the show is context is important. For instance, something no one would ever know by watching a highlight clip is up on the scorecard, scoreboard up there was 3rd and 14. Justin Fields was apparently facing a 3rd and 14 situation. So you're not just going to complete any pass in that situation. He's trying to get the first down. So to fans, what was Justin Fields looking at? But also he's facing long odds. So I think sometimes that sort of context needs to go into the training camp numbers that we see. Like, I didn't see any of these numbers. I have not had a chance to see what the other beat reporter said. But let's say he went 7 of 15 or something. They're like, oh, geez, look at this guy. But I think sometimes the added context sort of gets lost here. So there's a lot of overreaction happening out there, both good and bad. I thought Justin Fields looked really good in the preseason game. And Woody, we talked about this when we're trying to predict how long the starter's going to play. My gut was if there was one really good drive and they went right down the field, scored a touchdown, that it was over. And it was. And that's what happened. That was the best case scenario that could have happened. We'll see what happens here in the future. But there does seem to be some overreactions, both good and bad, mostly bad so far from what we've seen from Fields from a social media standpoint there, Woodster.
I'll be careful of my words here. Yeah, I've definitely seen some overreaction. I would say specifically after the game. It's been a lot of good overreaction. I think people, putting in their FanDuel futures bets on the MVP might be, walking away empty-handed in January. But I think, that part of it is going to happen every year. That does happen every year. It's going to happen every year, regardless of good or bad. Every fan base every year is going to overreact to what happens in August. There's nothing we can, really do about that part. But, the offense part, I won't say what's on my mind.
Okay. Well, again, you already said what's on your mind as it pertains to Adrian Martinez.
Wow.
Another raffle ticket. Look at that. A $2 Euro super chat, which translates to a normal $3 chat here in America, the United States of America. Adrian Martinez would shock the world. I would say this. We're talking about the quarterback camp. Again, we got to see whatever injury-wise is going on with Brady Cook. We go to the game. Obviously, Brady Cook's been ahead of Adrian Martinez because if you go by the order of quarterbacks that happened in the preseason game, there, Woodster, we had Justin Fields, who did his one drive, got out. Brady Cook completed the rest of the first half. He's been apparently ahead of Adrian Martinez on the quarterback depth chart. And then Adrian got the entire second half, and Adrian looked awesome with it. He looked mobile. He looked he was efficient as a passer, made a couple of big plays. I love what I saw from Adrian. So Adrian Martinez would shock the world. Maybe he's saying that if an injury or something happens, we will see. He rode the entire practice squad last year. Again, I'm just not sure if we see a QB3 on the roster this year. Now, the only way that changes is what is the health of Tyrod Taylor, because there's no way you're just going with Justin Fields and the carcass of Tyrod Taylor. If he has to start on any kind of PUP or something like that, then if I'm Adrian Martinez or Brady Cook, then all of a sudden there's a path to me getting some game checks, which, hey, God bless America. From what I understand, those are more significant than practice squad paychecks, so blessed be he. I think the Jets have a really good situation here. I would say this because I saw some people sharing some love for Tommy DeVito, who I covered here in Syracuse. So Tommy's been a great story. He's the fourth quarterback on the Giants. He's not going to make the Giants 53-man roster. They will 1,000% extend him an invite to their practice squad. But if I'm Tommy, I could be a backup quarterback somewhere else in the league. He's proven enough. He beat the Green Bay Packers on Monday Night Football at MetLife Stadium. He's shown some chutzpah. So I think he could be a backup quarterback in the league, which is perhaps the best job in all of football. You don't get hit. You just get paid millions of dollars to be the emergency break the glass, and hopefully no one ever needs it. So Tommy would be great. Again, with the Jets situation, unless Tyrod's thing is more serious than what's been led on, then I don't think Tommy stays here. Although it sounds like, and I was talking to some people here, that Tommy would love to stay in the New Jersey area. He's got a lot of ties here family-wise, but I think his better football opportunity might be outside of the state of New Jersey. So we'll see what that means for him. But a lot of positive Adrian Martinez love, Wudi. I know that tickles your fancy.
Hey, yo. Definitely wouldn't say it like that. Shout out to Sharon. Love this quote. Might have to, contact Adrian for, some sort of marketing ideas because you got to shop smart, shop a mark. Adrian Martinez.
Oh, nice.
He could. Like I said, I feel like if he needs to play in a pinch, I think he could. And I think, I would rather see what the UFL MVP got than Tommy DeVito, Tommy Cullits. That's just another sideshow type deal. No, don't say it like that. Sideshow. Tommy Cutlets, all this, the agent. What do you mean? This
was an iconic movement.
Iconic. We definitely got different definition of icon, but that, I don't think there's any place for that in AG's locker room.
Lucas says, LOL, Tommy will be in a kitchen making veal sandwiches soon enough. What in the world?
Hey, I didn't go that far. I'm just saying that he's not a fit for this team. I would rather have a mark 10 out of 10 times.
All right. Well, right now it looks like Amart's going to be the guy. Again, you don't root for injury for anybody, but if I'm Adrian Martinez, the path is now clear. Tyrod isn't playing in the preseason. I didn't think he was anyway. There's going to be plenty of opportunity for Adrian to, take advantage of the spot, right? Like Josh Myers was the starting center for the New York Jets in the preseason game. That was an opportunity, I would say, for Josh Myers to create some gap between him and Tippmann. I'm playing center. Tippmann's playing guard. If I look awesome, maybe the team goes, that looks pretty good. So he had an opportunity from what everyone's saying. He didn't take advantage of that opportunity. People were sort of poking fun at Josh Myers' performance for the Jets in that game. But the same thing here for Adrian. He's going to have an opportunity to make up some serious ground, either make up ground or create ground between him and Brady. And with the Tyrod entry, I think he has a chance to potentially be QB2 at the beginning of the season and maybe long term. We'll see.
Definitely. We'll definitely see. The comment, I know, no love lost here, but the comment wanted to address my guy Indy. Indy's always asking questions. I got answers. So he all the way back then, he was like, am I on the Fields bus? Not a train. I don't know why he didn't go with the train. I guess it's a small group. The Fields bus yet. And this is kind of what I'm
here he is. Yeah, there you go.
About a good overreaction. Like I have nothing. What's the word?
Respect.
Feel like there was one drive that scored a touchdown. It was good. It was a nice touchdown. Does that mean that all of a sudden I'm going to say that he is the front runner for MVP? No, but it was solid. I was very satisfied with what I saw. The last time somebody asked me a question like this was when Zach Wilson came back week 4 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he caught a touchdown and did the gritty.
Oh, those Pittsburgh week 4, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said all those words already. And my phone blew up. You see this, Wudi? You should eat your words, man. Zach Wilson's a future. Wow. Do you see that gritty? So swaggy. And what is Zach Wilson doing now? He's still fumbling, bumbling, making horrific throws as the third-string QB in Miami. So all I'm saying is don't be a prisoner of the moment. We're going to see this story unfold. Hopefully it has a happy ending. But, I definitely can't see one drive in preseason and make any type of conclusion, good or bad, from what I'm seeing. So with Fields, everyone, oh, wow, like this is amazing. He was fantastic. With Brees, oh, no, he sucks. Trade him. I am not jumping on either of those bandwagons right now.
Fair enough. Let's get one of these in, Wudi. Here we go. Whoops. Sorry, that was on a loop I was unaware of. There's no 2 updates to give. I'm sorry, but here it is. This is from Brooke Pryor, who covers the Pittsburgh Steelers for ESPN. Aaron Rodgers looked like he got his foot stepped on during a team period, came up gingerly, stayed for one more handoff, came out of rep early. He was rubbing his right calf down on one knee behind the team period, massaging his calf, which caused some concerns. He ended up returning to team periods, but observers are saying that he looks a step slower now with that stepped on foot. So another thing to keep an eye out for, especially as we're closing in here, Wudi. We're 3 weeks away from the season opener, believe it or not. It's right around the corner. So a little thing there in Steelers land. Plus, Cam Hayward's like, hey, maybe I'm going to hold out games. And I'm like, hey, man, if you want to really show the Steelers what's up, skip week 1. There you go, buddy. Mr. First Team All-Pro, Cameron Hayward. So there seems like a lot of drama happening there in Pittsburgh. I guess that just follows Aaron Rodgers wherever he goes.
Footstepping, right? You made a comment about that before.
Yeah.
Now, it happens, right? QBs, they get their feet stepped on. I'm not out here ready to take shots at anybody. I know that is not at all beneath Boy Green. But we'll see what happens. A lot of times we out here celebrating, oh, this person's not going to play against the Jets. I remember how excited everybody was. Oh my God, CMC out week 1. Let's go. Oh my God. And so you guys, it's funny, how you guys celebrate other team injuries, but
celebrate.
Yeah, I mean you get hyped. That's what I'm saying. You get hyped. Oh, let's go. Jordan Mason then proceeded to bend us over his knee. But yeah, so you guys do that. I'm gonna just root for the team no matter who's in front of them.
I want to give a big shout out. There's 400 people watching live right now, which is awesome. And plus on Wudi's channels as well. We're streaming live in 5 different destinations, 3 of my own at Boy Green G5 on YouTube. We're getting closer and closer to 8,000 subscribers. So thank you guys so much for all the support. It's been amazing. So subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not already. and feel free to do so. 300 of the 400 people watching are on Twitter right now, so make sure you guys hop on over to youtube.com/boygreen25, like the current video, and hit subscribe, baby. When we get to 8,000 subscribers, we're giving away an autographed Mike White 8x10 photograph, baby, with a certificate of authenticity to enjoy that Mike White era. Why not? Currently a Buffalo Bills quarterback. And we have 70 plus here on YouTube. So again, like the video, hit subscribe. We appreciate it. Make sure you're showing the love to Wudi as well at Take Flight Talk on his YouTube channel. Again, we're streaming live in 5 different places, including both of our Instagrams, my Twitter, YouTube, and his YouTube as well. So a big shout out, baby. And I see Jake Asman here on the Instagram. Boy Green, baby. Oh, yeah. Instagram. It's happening. Yes. Boy Green Meets Wudi is live every single Tuesday and Thursday on my Instagram account. So shout out to Jake and his verified account that pops with that beautiful blue check. He's a big deal. Jake Asman will be happy to hear this. I was sitting in the stands, right? So I'm watching Jets practice, and a bunch of people behind me are talking about Jake Asman. Like, man, have you ever watched that Jake Asman show? You know, like the Asmaniacs and stuff? Yeah, man. He's doing like this meetup for the Tampa Bay Bucks game. I'm going, man. Did you know he did a meetup last year for the Vegas game? Dude, there's like a freaking couple hundred Jet fans, man. It was sick. And I'm just sitting there like, I was going to record the conversation, but that's weird, so you can't do that. So I just like sort of remembered in my mind. And I said, you know what? At some point, I'll randomly tell that story. So, Jake, that people are just talking about you all the time, man. You're a buzzing guy. A lot of people are talking about Jake Asman, obviously. So much appreciated from that standpoint. And I know people are sort of coming in and out of the chat, Wudi, so I just want to address. I see that Dave Briga, One Punch Briga, saying, did the Jets offense line get dominated, or was it even Steven? I would say even Steven. There were certainly moments where the Jets gave Justin Fields plenty of time, ones-on-ones, which I think is a great compliment with how good the Giants' defensive line is. But, boy, did they get a couple – oh, my God, let me tell you this. Watching Max Mitchell sort of, like, line up as left tackle, and I see Brian Burns go, and then line up and immediately and slap Max Mitchell upside the head and immediately get into the backfield, that was concerning. And then, like, Brian Burns went, hey, Kayvon, you want to try this? And then they switched, and Kayvon got after Max Mitchell. I'm like, oh, good Lord. So they were sort of having their business with the Jets' backup offensive line. There's no question. I don't know if that's overly surprising, but the Jets starters fared well. I don't know. They got beat a couple of times. There ain't no lie. Justin Fields was doing some of these moves, and I don't know, like, because, again, they can't sack. So Justin Fields, like, got the ball, and if someone immediately pressed the pocket, he did a couple of. And then we're all kind of like, would he have really dodged something if he was really in that spot? But he gave a lot of body movement, a lot of and yeah, so that happened. So, Dave, we're sort of back and forth. There were some wins on both sides, as AG said before there, Woodster.
Even the Steven. It's a great show. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I did, right? Didn't it have, what's his name? The guy from Holes. Oh my God! Just do it. Oh God! Shia LaBeouf.
There it is. Nice.
Sorry, that took a second. Great show. I remember that when I was a kid. Another great show was the TJ Johnson show. That's AKA Tyler Johnson. And oh boy, he was impressive. He had a great play, sort of in the same spot as Mason, and they just found him. I think it was from Justin Fields over the top. Tyler Johnson got toe drag swag of like, boop, fit it in a window, and he got up, like, slapped the ball down and sort of did this to the fans. And fans are going, yeah, that's our guy. Checks roster sheet, Tyler Johnson. So that was cool. So yeah, Tyler was making a lot of plays. So shout out. I know we got a lot of Tyler Johnson fans in the universe here, like kind of a cult following for Tyler. So yeah, Tyler looked good. So shout out, and he looked okay in the preseason game too. So another big shout out there.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I mean, it was a jam-packed day.
It was. I'm just trying to review my notes, see if I missed anything. Again, another shout out to Olu Fashanu. He had some good battles. I was just sort of writing who he went against. Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau. That was pretty good. I enjoyed that. Mason Taylor obviously looked really good today. There was a bot snap from Joe Tippmann in 11-on-11s. Now, again, with our angle, could it have been Justin Fields didn't take the snap, right? And that Joe Tippmann fired a perfectly good snap, and Justin Fields didn't take it, and we just blamed the center for no reason. But there was a bot snap exchange, and it worked out. So Justin Fields is under center. It goes bloop right between his legs, and we're like, geez, Braylon Allen took it like it was a direct snap, juked out 3 Giants, and went 70 yards to the house. So I guess was that the intention? Was that one of those Lions fake fumble situations and it worked out great? Or I don't know, but that was terrific. And apparently my beautiful fiance is watching the show from the pool, which apparently is the best way to enjoy Boy Green Meets Woody. I was not aware that was an option. I would have tried to do that. Of course I can, because I'm on the show. So I guess I can enjoy the show from the pool and also be on the show. I don't know how that science would work, but yes, nice. Shout out to Tatiana, my fiance. Enjoying the hotel perks.
Hey. Last thing I'll say, I see my guys, 2 of my faves, Mr. Badshaw and Indy, who we talked about before. You know, we gonna see. We gonna see. Obviously, if there is no Aaron Rodgers, that impacts, or either QB, right? Because Justin Fields got his toe stepped on. We heard the words carted off, and I'm sure we actually talked about it at that time. Mr. Badshaw was feeling some type of way. That was the most nervous I was, because Tyrod comes in. I'm feeling I'm getting the heebie-jeebies. But we'll see with Roger, Mason Rudolph. I mean, come on. I mean, that's not even that don't even make sense. But either way, definitely excited to see you in person. And I mean, if Rodgers plays, that's a totally different story than Mason Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I would say this. I make my jokes about Cam Hayward or who's the other Steeler that could be out. I can't remember anymore. With anyone that's injured or thrown up in the universe, I want the Steelers at full strength, so there's no excuses. Aaron, loose it up, pal. I don't know how much you're playing in the preseason anyway. So come on now. Get your bleep together, all right? Get your bleep together. We want your full strength. I want Will McDonald to put you on your ass and then stick his hand up, say, get up, old man, because we about to do it again. We about to JU show. I'll run it back. and that's what's going to happen. So that's exactly what I'm looking and hoping for. That would be great. I do want to give a shout out to my guy, Nate. So how Jets training camp works is you park at the Fairleigh Dickinson University, which is like a couple of minutes away from the One Jets Drive. You park there for free, which is super cool. Thank you to the Jets. And then they shuttle you over for free to the Jets facilities and leave your cars back there. Here you go. You come up here. And then there's a long-ass line. You got to get your tickets verified that you're actually supposed to go and all that jazz. And I see someone on a bicycle, like sort of filming, like, look at this long-ass line. And he's going the other way. And I'm like, a Jet fan on a bicycle? Hey, Nate. And he goes, huh? And it's Nate. Nate from our Discord, a Boy Green Coffee Club member. And he saw me and was like, Boy Green. And then just kept on pedaling down safely, of course, not getting hit by a car or anything, which is awesome. So it's cool to meet Nate on the bicycle. And then later when I was in the concession grabbing some drinks, Nate came up. We got to chat for a few minutes. So thank you to Nate. It was awesome seeing you again because we met at the tailgate last year, me and Woody's tailgate to be specific. I can't wait for the game. That's what people kept telling me, dude, Jets Steelers 3 weeks away. I'm like, dude, it's insane. And then, of course, our Jets Cowboys tailgate special is going to be awesome. So I'm so pumped up. I'm so excited. It was cool to meet so many Jet fans out there that said hello. Thank you. Someone tweeted at me, oh, man, I thought that was you, but I wasn't sure, so I didn't want to say hello. And in the future, if any of you guys see me, or you think it's me, because apparently I have a few clones out there, but if you do see me, feel free to say hello. I love interacting with Jet fans. This is a show by the people, for the people. The fact that anyone recognizes me at all besides my own mother, blessed be he, or wants to recognize me in some way is super cool. It's humbling, and it's the most awesome thing of all time. And it's surreal. I just love doing this Jet show, and I love that other people vibe with it. I love doing this show with Woody. I'm glad other people vibe with it. So shout out to Nate and several other Jet fans I got to take pictures with and hang out with. That was super cool. That was an awesome experience. Yeah, Nate said you'll never see me on a school bus. Yeah, he got to do his own transportation, bike right up. So God bless. That was awesome.
Absolutely. Definitely a good time. Good times were had today at the practice. You know, you'll be seeing us again on Thursday, 3 p.m. You already know the drill. You'll also be seeing us in person, like Boy Green literally just said, October 5th, also maybe October 4th. But you know, Indy, don't come on now, don't make us institute some dress code now. I don't know, what you talking about right now, but come on now, come on now. Yeah, we might have to talk about the dress code situation, but hey, nothing but love for everyone, you know, in the chat, watching on all the platforms, and of course, nothing but love for the Jets.
For sure. And, you know, that's always cool to hear that in person. So thank you, all the Jet fans that rallied up those calls. It'll be great to see it from a dancing, gyrating Wudi at our tailgate, throwing some JETS chants into the universe. And I'll give one more quick shout out. We have 2 tickets left, people. Once they're gone, they are gone. I've had a few people sort of inquire, dip their toes in the water, but not commit. And again, I'm a free man. Whoever pays first reaches out, interested, and wants it. And the money clears first is first. They get it, and we're off to the races. So it's first come, first serve. They're $300 per person. It's Sunday, October 5th. Week 5, New York Jets, Dallas Cowboys. That $300 per person package, only 2 ticket packages left, includes, of course, a ticket to the game. We're going to eat before the game with Chef Kevin Gilbert. We'll also eat the night before Chef Kevin Gilbert. I have a sign-up sheet available for all you Boy Green Coffee Club members. If you did not get that email and you want to meet up the night before at Chef Kevin Gilbert's restaurant, we have a sign-up sheet out. I think we have like 20-ish people already committed. I think we only need 5 or 10 more to officially lock in that the event is officially happening. I'm sure that number is going to come through. And we only have 60 max seats. So if this picks up steam and we get 60 people, we can't have any more than that. So if you have any interest in meet and greeting before the game, make sure you reach out and lock in that spot, because we have a Google sign-up sheet for that as well, which is cool. Wudi, I know you've got a special day planned yourself, non-Jets football related, so I don't want to hold you up any longer. But we'll continue to have more content out at BoyGreen25, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. We're going to have a lot of cool stuff that we're putting together of all kinds of video content and crazy-ass people I met today. We'll be putting more stuff out here soon, shortly.
Absolutely. All right. Everyone have a good rest of your day, and then you'll be seeing us this week.
That's true. We'll see you on Thursday, and I'll be back on tomorrow morning at Boy Green Daily from this hotel room, I suppose. And Terrence, just a quick shout out to you. He says, I want to meet up the night before. Send me the link. If you are on Discord, which of course you are, Terrence, go to the general tab, and you will see the sign-up sheet there. Sign up ASAP so you lock in a spot. And if you bring multiple people, you have to sign up multiple people. Don't just say Terrence and 2 plus 2s. Terrence and whoever you're bringing, first and last name of every individual, because you want to make sure we lock those seats in. So, Terrence, you have that available on the Discord. Amazing. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Again, Take Flight Talk, like the video, hit subscribe. Wudi is a madman, for God's sakes, and support the friggin' shows. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Plus, we'll have more content coming out on the channel later today for my visits at Jets Training Camp. Thanks, everybody. Take care.